Hello, students of class 8. We are doing chapter number 1, that is crop production and management. In that, till now, we have studied what is agriculture, we have studied how agriculture started, and we have studied about modern agriculture. In today's class, we'll study about crops and their classifications. Okay, students, the land where plants are cultivated is known as what? Field. We all know that where crops or plants are cultivated, that particular land is known as field. Now, plants grown in large quantities in a field are known as crop plants or crops. When in a field plants are grown in a large quantity, then what it is known as? It is known as what? Crops. Okay, students? So, see, the first cultivated crops were cereals like wheat, barley, rice, and corn. The first, when agriculture started, what type of crop were grown? These crops are known as cereals: wheat, barley, rice, and corn. So, these type of cereals are what? They are very rich in carbohydrate, and carbohydrate, which is the most important source of nutrition. And cereals, therefore, is a staple diet almost everywhere in the world. Now, question comes: what do you mean by staple diet? So, student, staple diet means, suppose see, in Assam, let's say, we have lunch, we have dinner, but which is the most important food that we have? It is rice, right? Someday we can have dal, someday we can have chicken, someday we can have fish, or someday we can have something else. But one thing that is common in all our lunch and dinner, our meal, is rice. So rice is the staple diet of Assam. If you talk about Bihar, it is rice and wheat, right? So in different places there are different type of staple food, right? The food which is consumed mostly is known as staple food. So cereals are what? Cereals are the staple food all over the world. Now let's see, cereals also contain proteins, vitamins, and minerals and fibers along with carbohydrates, which is the main ingredient of cereals. It also includes protein, vitamins, minerals, and fiber, which is very important for our growth and development, right? Now, crops based on products oriented. Now, see, crops are classified in many ways. This is one more classification of crops. How? Based on the product obtained. আমি ক্ৰপটোৰ পৰা যোনটো প্ৰডাক্ট পাওঁ সেই প্ৰডাক্টটোৰ ওপৰত ক্লাছিফাই কৰা হয়. দ্য প্ৰডাক্টছ অবটেইন ফ্ৰম ক্ৰপছ আৰ নন এজ হোৱাট? প্ৰডিউচ. দ্য প্ৰডাক্ট ডেট উই গেট আউট অফ ক্ৰপছ ইজ নন এজ হোৱাট? Suppose we have planted some crops from rice field. From rice field, what do we get? We get rice. So what is rice? Rice is the product. Okay, from rice plant we get rice. Now see, crops based on product oriented. Number one is what? Cereal. What are cereals? Wheat, rice, barley, corn, ragi, all these are known as what? Cereals. Next what? Pulses. Pulses are what? Gram, peas, beans. So all these, suppose cereals are the main staple food. What are pulses used for? Pulses are the food which are consumed with cereals. Dali, boot, এইবিলাকক কি বুলি কোৱা হয়? পি, বিনছ. What are these known as? These are known as pulses. Root and tuber crops: sweet potato, tapioca, potato. So all these are known as what? Roots and tuber crops. The crops which are grown in the roots, like potato, like carrots, right? Like onion. All these are known as what? Root and tuber crops. Oilseed crops. What are oilseed crops? The crops from which oil, we get oil. From where? Mustard, groundnut, sunflower, all this type of crop, what gives us what? Gives us oil, right? Sugar crops. Suppose from the plants from which we get sugar, like sugar cane, sugar beet, these are known as what? Sugar crops. Plantation crops. What is plantation crops? Where huge amount of same particular thing is planted somewhere, that is known as plantation crops. What are the plantation crops? Tea, rubber, coffee, coconut, all these are known as what? Plantation crops. And next what? Fiber crops, from which we get fibers, like jute, cotton. Do you know what is fibers? That fibers helps us to make thread from which we make clothes, no? All these are known as fiber crops. Like jute, cotton, jute. What is jute known as in Assamese? আমি পাতা বুলি কওঁ ন পাতা, and then cotton মানে কপাহ. All these are fiber crops. So these are some of the common crops which are classified on the base of the produce. Now students, our next classification is crops based on seasons. In different seasons we plant different type of crops. So on the base of which season that crop is planted, it is divided into two types: kharif crops and what? Rabi crops. Kharif crops and rabi crops. So kharif crops are also known as summer crops, and rabi crops are also known as winter crops. Kharif crops are grown in the month of June and July. It is grown in the month of June and July and harvested in the month of September and October. What are some of the example of kharif crops? Some of the example of kharif crops are rice, corn, soybean, sugarcane, groundnut, cotton. All these are what? All these are kharif crops. These crops are grown in the month of June and July and harvested in the month of where? In the month of September and October. These are known as kharif crops, also known as summer crops. Next come to rabi crops. Rabi crops are the crops which are grown in the month of October and November and harvested in the month of what? April or March and April. Some of the rabi crops are what? Some of the rabi crops are, you see, oats is there, coriander, mustard, wheat, gram, potato. All these are known as what? Rabi crops, which are grown in the month of winter. Now the crops which are grown in summer season is known as kharif crops, and the crops which are grown in winter season is known as rabi crops. It's that simple as that. Now last one is crops based on life cycles. See, different crops has different life cycle. Some plants live for 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years. Some plant live only for 1 year, and some plants live for 2, 3 years. So according to that, crops are divided into three types: annuals, biennials, and perennials. Okay, so let's first learn what are annuals. Crops that take one growing season to complete the life cycle are called annuals. মানে যোনটো ক্ৰপ এটা বছৰতে গ্ৰ' হৈ এটা বছৰতে সেই লাইফ চাইকেল কমপ্লিট হয়, সিহঁতক কি বুলি কোৱা হয়? মানে গছ ডাঙৰ হৈ ফল মূল দি এবছৰতে মৰি যায়. ইভেন ইফ ইউ ডোণ্ট হাৰ্ভেষ্ট that plant will die within 1 year. Here life cycle হৈছে 1 year. That plants are known as what? Annuals. And the example are wheat, rice, corn. এইবিলাক কি হয়? Annuals. Now let's talk about biennials. What is biennials? These crops take 2 growing seasons to complete their life cycle. During the first year, the plants store food in their roots. The energy in this food is then used by the plant to produce fruits and seeds in the second year. This is, listen students very carefully. Mane ki hoy? Example is given as carrots, and carrots are biennials. Now you will ask question, sir, আমার ঘরটা carrots রুয়ে 2-3 মাহত carrots রেডি হয়ে যায়, রেডি হয়ে carrots খাইলো আমি. Then how comes carrot is a biennial? The answer is, in the first year. What is biennial? During the first year, it stores the food in their roots. Root তেওঁলোকে foodটো store কৰে. In the second year, the energy in the food is then used by the plant to produce fruits and seeds in the second year. আর তার পাছতহে মৰে. Now if you see in this picture students, from here what happens? From seeds it grows and become big plant, top you see. And in this position what we do? We consume the carrot, but the life cycle of the carrot is not finished there. If we let the carrot be like that, it will live for 1 more year, and then in one particular year what will do? It will make fruits, it will make some seeds as well as flowers, and after that it will die. Understood? So the life cycle of carrot is of 2 years, but we consume the carrot very early than that. We don't let the carrot live for that much, because we can buy the carrot seeds from the market, right? And whoever had made the carrot seeds, they have let the carrot live for 2 years, and that is why it could give the seeds from which we can make new carrot plants. So we have learned about annuals and biennials. Annuals are those the plants which life cycle is 1 year. Biennials are those whose life cycle is 2 year, and perennials are those plants which live more than 2 growing season and continue to produce seeds, like the apple, the mango, the banana, the jackfruit. All they are example of what? Perennials, because they live more than 2 years. They live for long years, and all the years, every year they produce seeds. Okay students, that is it for today. We have learned about crops. In the next class we will learn about agricultural practices. Okay students, thank you very much. See you in the next class. Till then, goodbye.